Hello, motorcycle nuts and chopper jockeys everywhere throughout the land. It is, well, actually, we're pretending it's 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and it's time for another episode of Chop Talk with Chris and Ken. Ken, what's going on, buddy?
You know, I'm out here in Colorado. I've got a flashing screen, and yeah, I don't know. Things are good. I got no complaints.
Oh, always something with Shop Talk. But
Other than the flashing screen, which I don't understand, but whatever.
So I'm just going to put this out there real quick. This is a pre-recorded BMR show. That means that we are actually going to be in no man's land for cell phone during the regular scheduled program time for this program. So we've decided to get a show together for you guys anyway. And Ken's actually going to post that, and he's going to be covering comments and stuff. So if you're watching this live, don't expect the lovely Heather to chime in like she normally does with live answers, because it's not happening. I mean,
then why am I here?
Ken will. Why are you here?
Why am I here if I don't have to answer questions?
We need a pretty face.
Yeah, you're still part of the show.
Honey.
Come on. Come on.
So, real quick, you had said we're going to be in cell phone no man's land.
Yeah.
In this day and age, how awesome is that? There's like no cell service in Parsons, West Virginia, which is a blessing and a curse as far as, you know, business and social media. But I love the fact that my phone does not work. It's going to be days of bliss.
So obviously the thing that we're talking about that's taken us into cell phone no man's land is the annual Big Mountain Run. Cycle Source Magazine gets together once a year to kick it old style. And when we say that, it's really old style. It's totally primitive. The great people of Parsons, West Virginia have given us a beautiful location called Camp Kid. We start the whole thing off with a 2-day gypsy tour. We leave Steel City Harley-Davidson in Washington, Pennsylvania. We go to a couple spots along the way and camp. We end at Camp Kid for a bunch of really crazy, gnarly times.
So before you jump to the cool video about the event that sucks, let's talk about our kickoff party at Steel City Harley-Davidson.
Yeah.
So Steel City Harley-Davidson, number one, is one of our longest-running advertisers. They've been with Chris for, I think, since before he went on the national newsstands, but every year they also host our Gypsy Tour kickoff. And when I say host, they don't just let us come in and, you know, have a little party. They're bringing in the Living Deads tomorrow night, barbecue. They let us camp on their property. They have burn barrels, and it's free for everybody to come, whether you're a Gypsy Tour rider or just somebody that likes motorcycles or just somebody that likes the Living Deads. That's tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, so y'all should come out and hang out with us.
And like Heather said, they're super, super active in everything that they do, and then this especially because, I mean, we just have such a long-term relationship with them that they put in a lot extra for us. So come out and hang out, even if you can't do the whole Gypsy Tour. It'll be a great way to kick off the event. You can do a couple hours with us, and you know, then the next morning we all ride off.
So, and if you're not fortunate enough to go on the Gypsy Tour, which is typically one of my favorite parts, you can stand and protest with me for the people that do get to go on the Gypsy Tour, because I don't get to go this year. So y'all suck.
So listen, I gotta make this mention while I try to fix it, just because it's funny, because we try to be so professional with this. So I was all impressed with myself last week when I got this little 3-shot deal together, you know, that we could make it look like the big fancy news, you know, like CNBC and Fox and all that shit. And when you look at how we are, it doesn't look like that. I mean, their stuff is all perfect. Everybody's the same size. What the hell is going on? Who's in charge of this shit show? Huh? Come on, man.
But, you know, in all fairness, the people that do those, they each have one job.
Yeah,
one job.
Well,
they have makeup artists. They have wardrobe.
Slackers.
They have one job. Like, that's it. Last count, I think between the three of us, we hold 5,332 different jobs. So
that's a little overblown, but I
okay,
understand.
5,330.
There you go. So anyway, we got a great lineup for guests today. If we manage to get to them all. You know, the first and foremost, we've been trying for a couple weeks to get the guy to come on here from the Veterans Charity Ride, And
Our fault, not his.
our fault. And I think just from the pre-show work that we've been doing on this, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible. I've never been so happy to give somebody some publicity as David Frey, and can't wait to get him on. So what else is going on? What's going on in Colorado, man?
Well, I actually had a question for you because I think your birthday's coming up.
It is.
Yeah, I saw there was something in the driveway for you.
That's right. That's right. I have the best wife in the world. And
Wow.
listen, it's not I have to preface this with a little explanation. I don't really ever want anything. You know, like, no, seriously.
Funniest thing I've ever
I
heard.
want stuff for the business
Like-
all the time. And I want to build bikes for stuff we're doing for the magazine.
You
and
do
Greasy
know
Gears
lying
Project.
is a sin, right?
But wait, seriously. For years now, I've wanted an old Ford pickup truck like my grandfather used to have. And in the back of my mind somewhere, I'm like, that'll be like me really making it, having a truck like the old boy used to drive. So for my birthday this year, my beautiful wife scored me a 1973 just old farm looking truck, F-250 with 460 engine and 4 on the floor, and max I think it does 60 miles an hour, but it'll do that straight up a wall, So I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, it was we got it for a couple $1,000, so it's not like she bought me a Maserati or anything that I'm sitting here bragging about. But for me,
But yet
old
every
Ford
couple
truck,
hours you'll open the front door and go, "That's my truck."
that's my truck.
Nice.
And I get in it, it has the big tall shifter, man, and it's just hillbilly as all get out. So
No,
pretty good,
Got to get a necker knob on that giant steering wheel.
right? Oh, and dude, the steering wheel is like a ship's wheel too. There's no joke. There's no joke about that whatsoever.
And it was definitely a very early birthday present. His birthday isn't until the end of July, but it was just too good of an opportunity to pass up. And
Yeah.
I can hide a lot of things, but I couldn't hide a truck.
Yeah. How are you gonna hide a truck?
All right. So enough about me and my truck.
It's a cool truck.
honest- So you were asking about Colorado. Colorado's great. Got to take a nice ride this weekend.
I saw that. I saw on social media you were kicking it.
Yeah, it was good. Went out on the Indian Roadmaster. Haven't really gone too up on that yet. It was a lot of fun. Her, and I quote her, "This is the most comfortable motorcycle I've been on with you ever."
Really?
So that's definitely some thumbs up there for 2-up riders. But also, one of our former guests, Ricky Rackman, and I just formalized an informal agreement, and I'm going to start helping him with his autobiography.
Really?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
With the Cat House. So, this is an official announcement by any means, because we actually have it on the books to start getting together every week. He's going to start telling me stories, and then we're going to start talking to all the people that went there and that frequented that place to kind of corroborate his craziness. And so it should be really fun. It's going to be a very long-term project, so I have no idea when it will come out, but it's going to be epic. It's going to be a lot of fun to do that. So I'm excited about that.
Dude, there's a lot of great memories from all the years of doing the magazine, but seriously, one of my best ever to bring up is 1 year in Sturgis. We were backstage, Gilby was in town playing, and I forget who he was playing with at the time, and Ricky was back there coming through on just doing a ride like he does. And they started telling stories about LA back in the day and Tommy Lee and like all the crazy shit that went down. Dude, it would curl your hair. It would absolutely curl your hair. It was nuts.
Yeah, and this is going to be one of those kind of no holds barred. There's not going to be a lot of censoring, I don't believe. Yeah, it should be fun. We'll see how it goes. But I figure, hey, if I put it out there, that just means that I'll have to work harder at it. So
No, that's cool. And I'm glad to hear you say that there's not going to be a lot of censoring, because I think you lose a lot of the true story when you do censor it too much. Like if you really want the autobiography, you have to lay it all out there. Like it, love it, hate it.
sure.
It is what it is. And
Yeah.
ultimately it's what led you to be who you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
So
that's cool.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun for sure. So
Yes, sir.
we should
So
probably get Dave on the phone because I know he's on a bit of a time crunch, just in the sense of I think we told him we would get him on the phone about this time. So
okay, let's see how
all
we
that
do with this
CA
today.
number. So
Let's see how we do with this today. It's always up in the air whether our interviews go through, but I'm willing to give it a shot and act like it works seamlessly.
weird. I'm not hearing it through my headphones.
I can hear it through mine.
I guess I can.
Hello.
Hey, David, how you doing? It's Chris and Ken with ShopTalk. You're on the air.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good, man. Good. It's so good to catch up with you finally. I apologize for a couple weeks here. We've been trying to get to you and get you locked in.
You know, those things happen, and we roll with it. And we're in the business of changing and saving lives, and it's a lot of fluid situations sometimes. And so I totally get it, and I'm excited to talk with you guys.
Right on, man. Right on.
Right on. Thanks, Dave. So
hey, is that Ken?
yes, it is. I'm here.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good. And Chris's wife is actually on the air as well, Heather.
Hi, David. How are you today?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. How about you guys?
Oh, we got it burning at both ends. Got it burn. We got a lot of events coming up. A little bit of time to do it, but you know, like you said, when you're doing the good stuff, man, it's all worth it.
Well, you know, this is prime riding season, so the Northeast is defrosted, and it's just the weather is great, and people are getting out on their bikes, and now's the time to be talking to them about motorcycle therapy and what all we're doing and what you guys are doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, can you take us back a little bit to when you started riding, just so we get a sense of that?
Oh boy, that's 51 years ago. I was
You were
born
2 years old.
into. So I was, So I was negative 5 years old. No, I was 5 years old, born into the family business, mom and pop Honda Triumph BSA dealership out of Highland Park, Los Angeles, California. So I grew up with motorcycles, literally in a motorcycle shop, pushing the broom, learning the parts, learning the service. And, I was the luckiest kid in the world. I went to school and everybody knew that we owned a motorcycle shop. So motorcycles were in our blood from the very beginning of life. So I'm very fortunate. So from there, growing up in motorcycles, to be honest with you, I didn't even realize how therapeutic they were till, of course, I got older and started running into life and issues, and joined the military, was an airborne paratrooper, and went and served, came back to the family business. And that's when things really kind of clicked. Wow, I've been doing this all my life, but motorcycles, they're therapeutic. They get you out, they get you into the open spaces and connect you back with the earth and nature and the road. And it heightens your senses. You got to be aware, especially in LA, to survive
absolutely.
Los Angeles and not get and get through the traffic and be responsible. So I was very fortunate to grow up in that environment, and that gave me a lot of skills. And I'm still learning. We still do motorcycle safety courses for all our guys. All our veterans get motorcycle safety courses that Veterans Charity Ride handles on our ranges and funds, and because safety is the primary factor to enjoying a motorcycle.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute to set this up for some of our listeners that are in today that might not know where this all came from. How do you come upon the beginning of the Veterans Charity Ride?
Well, it happened in 2013. So I just bought a new Indian motorcycle. I had one of the first Indians in Los Angeles, so driving that around to the Rock store and all the other
Oh, dude, I love the rock
motorcycle.
shop.
Yeah, the Rock, yeah, isn't that?
Yep.
You show up there, and you never know who's going to show up. Jay Leno shows up, Peter Fonda, which Jay Leno became a good friend and supporter of Veterans Charity Ride, which I'll tell you about that in a bit. But so I became Indian Dave very quickly in Los Angeles because it was like, wow, is that a new Indian? Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a new Indian. And then so I would ride up and, oh, there's Dave on his new Indian, and that turned into Indian Dave pretty quick. So more Indians started showing up, but I had one of the first ones, and took a trip to the 2014 Sturgis Bike Rally. I was riding solo from California to Sturgis, and came across another fellow airborne paratrooper, actually from my same unit, Johnny Reno.
Oh, no kidding.
We were admiring each other's bikes. He was asking questions about the new Indian, and then we just started talking about some of our fellow brothers and sisters that have been coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan and the hard times that they were having. And I was in the service 35 years ago. It was a lot different back then. So we got to talking, and we both kind of realized that, God, wouldn't it be cool if we could put something together to bring our brothers and sisters out and get them back on bikes and get them to the Sturgis motorcycle rally. And that was the genesis. That was the seed that we both talked, and he planted in me that on the ride out there, started envisioning more and more Indians and more veterans on motorcycles. But wait, what about the guys that have been blown up, and the amputees, and the guys with TBI, which traumatic brain injury, which improvised explosive devices, EIDs were just all over Iraq and Afghanistan, and just created horrible injuries. And I got the idea to get sidecars and put the sidecars on the Indians. So when I came back, I spoke with my wife and my film partner, Robert Mancero, Full Vision Productions. He's an Emmy Award-winning director. And I said, here's my idea. Here's what I'd like to do. Let's get guys that can't ride back into sidecars, back onto bikes. Let's modify some bikes, and let's get something that we can give back and give these guys an adventure.
Yeah, fantastic. And I just wanted to chime in with something right there, because we've done a few reports now on the motorcycle missions people that are doing a lot of really good work.
Yeah, Crystal.
Yeah,
I know Crystal.
And I have to say something, like when you said the thing about, when you were in the military, it was a lot different back then. As it applies to PTSD, I think really the only thing that was really different was the mindset that people had about it.
Yes.
They understand so much more about it today, and the need, I would suspect, for all generations that have served active in the military, the need was always there. But what you guys are doing now, the level of awareness and the acceptance and the work that you're doing on behalf of it, it's so commendable, because you think about the guys that were in Vietnam and Korea and like that suffered with this stuff in silence.
Yes, and they didn't. A lot of them did have this realization and this outlet, but it wasn't that, as you said, it wasn't that well known. It wasn't that well recognized. They've now done studies that show that the cognitive rehabilitation effects of riding a motorcycle, it puts you into present time. It puts your awareness in a 360-degree angle all around you. You're watching the cars, you're watching the trucks, you want to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
You also want to experience everything. It connects you to the sights, the smells, the road. And they did studies to show that helped activate parts of the brain that had been damaged, whether it be physical or mental, with post-traumatic stress or with traumatic brain injury. And they've figured out that the brain can rewire and go through different pathways and get better. And that's something that's only been realized the past 10, 15 years. And it's now being associated to actual physically riding a motorcycle. And there's scientific studies now to show that motorcycle therapy is a real thing, and that we're just fortunate and thankful that it's in our blood and that we're able to do this for our brothers and sisters that need it. And that's our mission. That's what we do. 7 days a week, full time. That's our job.
Right on.
Right on. How did Indian get involved in it?
Well, when I came back and talked with my wife and my film partner, then the logical thing was, well, gosh, you're Indian Dave, and Indian is back in the market, and they're coming on strong. Let's contact them and tell them what we're doing. So I had already had the vision. This is what we're going to do. And I went to Indian, spoke with them. They absolutely loved it and said yes from the very beginning. This is something we want to support. This is a worthy cause. What do you want from us, and what can we do? And then we sat down and we planned out Veterans Charity Ride 2015 to Sturgis. I said, I need some support. I need some motorcycles. I have champion trikes and sidecars on board. They're building us the sidecars for the amputees and special adaptation for wheelchairs and getting the guys in and out of them. And it all came together from just this idea and this pitch that this is what we're doing. Would you like to be part of it? And they said yes. And they've been with us ever since. We went from taking, a handful of guys to now we take dozens of guys. And now not only to Sturgis, but we also have our year-round program. And Indian supports us with that year-round with bikes and with our sidecars attached to them. So we've got motorcycle therapy year-round with our signature ride to Sturgis every year, sponsored by Indian Motorcycle, and they've helped us open the door and bring in more guys.
And you just made a big move, right, to Moab?
Yeah, we now have 10 acres, a veteran retreat, and we operate out of Moab, Utah, year-round with all the adventure that Moab has to offer, the motorcycle therapy, the bikes, the sidecars. We also offer all the mountain bikes, the side-by-sides, the UTVs, the ATVs, horseback riding, river rafting. Moab is adventure city of adventure town of the United States, and we've decided to move there and operate out of the year round. So we're very excited about that.
Well, I want to start by personally thanking you. My son is a former Marine. I have, who actually was injured in service, but he's out. He's great. He's doing awesome. But I also have 4 other Marines in my family, as well as 2 Navy men in the family. So from my family, we thank you for everything you do.
Oh boy. Well, thank you. And thank you for your family for what you've done, what they've done, and what they've been through. And, that's why we're doing what we're doing, so that we can just work with them and work with others to make this a reality. And so what it's like. The issues that most of our guys and gals go through as they reassimilate back into civilian life when they are leaving the military, the issues and the obstacles that come up. And we're quite proud of the program that we've put together, and we reach out to all branches of service all over the United States to bring them into this.
Well, and I'll tell you something too, man. Like in my time, from my personal experience, my old man was a original Parris Island Marine. All his buddies, he rode the boat to Bay of Pigs. All his buddies were Vietnam guys. And, through my childhood, we sold Agent Orange T-shirts to help fund Agent Orange research. And to watch the difference between, today, now we have organizations, we have a better understanding of this syndrome. To watch the guys that came back from Vietnam and the stuff that they went through, man, and everything from the self-medication to, the brutal lifestyles that they led just to keep that adrenaline fed. It's really something else to say something like to help people reassimilate to civilian life after the military, and then to watch somebody go through it, man. It's rough.
It is rough, and we are very hands-on and take what we do very seriously. That's why we came up with WellVet after our ride to Sturgis, and our realization that there is something really big here, and that we're just at the tip of the iceberg. We came up with programs so that we could follow through, so that we could, now that the guys have kind of popped out, we've gotten them out of the basement, we got them out of their houses, we got them out back into the environment and realizing they could live life again. But they had developed a lot of habits, eating habits and unhealthy habits. So we came up with WellVet, which is a nutritious diet and specific oxygen delivery therapy to help with the post-traumatic stress, with the sleeping, with the traumatic brain injury. And it's a 5-week program. So our guys come to us for 5 weeks, and we go through this education and this rehabilitation, and that's known as WellVet. And we're on our 3rd year with WellVet, and we can honestly say that we've saved many, many lives. And those guys then talk about it to other veterans, and it starts to spread. So we've got a great WellVet program, and we'll be operating that year-round out of Moab also. So very excited about that too.
Wow, Dave, the breadth of what you guys offer. I mean, I don't know what you did before, but it must have been something, because you have a vision that not a lot of people have. What did you do before Veterans Charity Ride?
I was a commercial film and video producer. Before that, I was with the Department of Justice on a SORT team, which is a Special Operation Response Team. So after being in the airborne, after going back to the family business, after running the family business and getting into motorcycles, actually left that, went to the Department of Justice, did the SORT team, got into filmmaking, and that's where all the skills kind of came together. Motorcycle riding, Army Airborne, SORT team, film producing, and a producer gets stuff done. I don't know if I can say the other word. Producers get shit done. And that's what I brought to Veterans Charity Ride, with our wealth of resources and friends in the business, from military, from veterans, from filmmaking. That's where Jay Leno came in and really helped us get off the ground and get this together, with Indian Motorcycle from the very beginning, and Champion and all our other sponsors. It was because they recognized that we get stuff done and that we're hands-on. There's 30,000 veteran organizations in the United States alone, and they do a lot of good, but we specialize in actually doing actions. We get issues, we get items, we list them out. What do our guys need? What can we do to help them? And then we actually put that into action. And I think that's why we've done so well so quickly and kind of become this nationally recognized motorcycle therapy for veterans, is because we are hands-on and we get things done and we get really great results. And we change and save lives, and our guys and gals that come in are just a big part of that. I mean, we work well together.
When that getting shit done, that's a big thing too, because I don't want to discount any other organization's efforts, but so many times you see people get bogged down in the bureaucracy of an organization like this, that they forget that the action is the most important part,
Absolutely. And if I have to fly out to a fellow veteran's home and meet his family and talk with him and get him to trust us and realize that this is a program that could help him. I've done that so many times. I've used so many frequent flyer miles. I will go and show up and physically talk with them and the family to get them out of the house and get them living life again. And that's what it takes sometimes. So,
and hey, you know what? This is a good thing. Let's put this out in this forum. Here's a good thing for one of the airlines. The airlines are consistently throwing out these great profit numbers. The credit card companies like Capital One that are always advertising about collecting your miles. How about get behind something like this? You know what I mean? How about somebody that could really make a difference in the A to B that you have to deal with all the time, jumping in and putting some leverage to it?
Yeah, and that we are pursuing those avenues and resources. And We operate by a very simple philosophy, and that is just get in front of them, get them to us, show up, and just let us do our thing. And I guarantee you we'll have positive results. So I tell my guys, I tell our families, I tell our resources, look, just help me get them here. And it's just a plane flight. I'll pick them up. I'll bring them to our retreat. We've got the bikes, we got the sidecars, we got the UTVs, we've got everything Moab has to offer. I guarantee you, if you help me get my guys here, we will take it from there. And it's that simple. It really is that simple. And that's what we do.
How can the average person like Chris or myself or anybody help you? What can we do to help you make these things happen?
Well, we're now an officially our own 501c3. So if you go to veteranscharityRide.org or our new webpage, adventurevet.org, we're getting the donation mechanisms set up. You can donate to us. You can write to us. You can call me. You can email me and say, this is how can I help? Well, obviously, money helps get the veterans to us. Money helps get the vehicles and keep the vehicles running and maintained, the adventures, the therapy, the peer-to-peer discussions, that all happens by just getting the guys together. So we've taken it upon ourselves to go out and get this 10 acres and 2 houses in this retreat in Moab. So that's already done and in place. We could have tried to fundraise for it and put a runway of 6 months to a year. I said, my guys don't have 6 months to a year. We need to reach guys right now. So my wife and I, we went ahead and just did this ourselves to buy the property, buy the houses, put them there. Indians come in with the bikes. Other sponsors, other partners have come in. But the general public, if you really want to do something and feel good about it, contact us. If you want to set up something monthly for $25 a month, and you can set that up through our website and just donate $25 a month, that adds up. Just imagine if 100 people donated $25 a month for the rest of the year. You know how many guys I could save? You know how many guys I could get out and just get them to us? These aren't crazy radical figures. These are simple figures that would help us tremendously. 100% of the money goes to getting their travel, getting them food, getting them to our facility. That's the number one objective. That's our mission, is to get that going. And it's really that simple. We also have our Moto Dono program. So we got guys, you guys have been around bikes all your lives too. How many guys do you know that's got 2 or 3 or 4 bikes sitting in their garage? Yep. Some of them run, some of them don't. They go, God, I wish I could really put that to good use. Well, our Moto Dono program has been going for the past 2 years, and we get motorcycles, we refurbish them, adapt them when needed, and then we give them to a deserving vet to get him back on the road, to get him back, whether it's a Harley, an Indian, a Kawasaki, a Yamaha. We're kind of like Switzerland. It doesn't matter. A bike is a bike. We got resources. We can refurbish them. We can put them back to use, and we can give them to a man or woman that has served our country that needs a little motorcycle therapy. So they can help us that way. If there's any questions, then go to our website and contact us, and we work out all the details and make it really simple. We got motorcycle shipping guys that want to help us to get the bikes to us. We've got numerous ways, and our websites are always developing to get that information out to the public.
That's great. What does a day look like for somebody who maybe comes to the ranch or is involved in one of these programs?
All right. So they show up. You can fly directly into Moab now. United Airlines flies commercial jets into Moab, if you could believe it or not.
Wow.
So yeah, Moab is becoming quite the destination. They show up, we basically pick them up, take them to the retreat, and just get them settled, show them around. Sometimes it's just decompressing and just being in a space where there is space, where there is not a lot of chaos and confusion and distraction going on. And if that takes a day or two to just get them there and relax a little bit, they then have the adventure motorcycles. They've got the Indian bikes with sidecars and some without sidecars. We've got the UTVs, we've got the horseback riding, and we have all these strategic alliances with the local community. We also have the beautification, where we get our veterans involved in local community projects so that they can give back and the community could see how great veterans are and how resourceful they are. So we've got all these activities. Once again, all they got to do is show up. They can participate as much or as little, but one thing we do make sure is that they don't just sit there and do nothing, because there's so much to do. There's so much interest that they will spend the day out on a bike or in a sidecar if they can't pilot a bike. They'll go to Arches National Park. We'll go to Canyonlands. We'll go to Dead Horse. We go to all these beautiful, iconic places that are within just a few miles. The La Salle Mountains in Gateway, Colorado, and Durango are in my backyard. Mm-hmm. And we just take them out to the lakes, to the mountains, to the national parks, to the river. Colorado River runs a mile right down the canyon, right down the street from us. And then we get them out, and then after that, they're in the mood to talk, and they're around a bunch of other veterans. So we sit around the fire and relax a little bit and talk about the day. And then a couple of guys, especially our returning mentors, they'll talk a little bit about some of their experiences and how they dealt with it and how they're still dealing with this or that. And we just lay the foundation and open up the door so that the guys feel comfortable and they can talk. Hey, I've got a similar experience. God, you've been through something like I've been through. God, you're looking pretty good, brother. You're getting things together. I want to be like that. And we introduce them to mentors like that, and then other people like Colin Fryer, who owns Red Cliffs Lodge down the road from us, who helped us put this whole thing together in Utah. So I gotta acknowledge my good friend and supporter, Colin Fryer. Red Cliffs Lodge saw our vision and jumped in with both feet and helped us get this established in Moab.
Oh, right on. And you know what, man, great. I can only speak because I wasn't active military, although growing up with a Marine father is quite like that. But but what I can tell you from other recovery programs that I may or may not have been involved in at one time, sometimes the biggest thing is just having people with common ground. You know what I mean? That sharing time with somebody that really understands where you're coming from, because no matter how much somebody in your life, your family, your wife or spouse or whatever, loves you, the understanding level of having somebody that's shared the same experience makes a world of difference.
Yes, that is so true, and that we experienced the very first year when our guys were coming back and they were going home, and we'd get calls and emails and letters from the families and the wives saying, "What did you do to my husband? How did you bring my husband back?" And they're so thankful that we were able to help open the door and get them going in that direction. But we also noticed that the families were, well, how come I couldn't do this over the past months and years? And it's just what you said. It's they've tried, and the love and the caring is there, but the shared reality wasn't there. So that's why we came up with Vet Fam. And Vet Fam is, once a veteran's been through our program and goes back home and the family and the wives see this great change and they want to help and continue it, we then invite the veteran and his family back so that they could share, hey, this is where this happened. This is where that happened. And they come back and participate in Veterans Charity Ride and an Adventure Vet. And Vet Fam has been a huge success. We've had families come back and stay with us and stay at Red Cliffs Lodge. And then the veteran said, hey, you know what? This is where Bob and I were sitting down and talking about, and this is where I realized I could change. And then he shares that with his wife, and his wife gets the shared reality of being in
Right
the
on.
physical location of where this happened in this beautiful setting. Brother, somehow it just all comes together.
Yeah.
And we've been fortunate to put this program in place. And once again, it's just analyzing, it's collecting data, observing, okay, here's what's happening. Here are the changes. How can we continue this? Well, we need to analyze and evaluate what's happening so that we can further our programs, expand our programs, and help more guys. And that's how we got to this point.
Right on.
Right on. Can you tell us a little bit about Veterans Charity Ride this year and what's going to be going on for Sturgis?
Yeah. So Veterans Charity Ride is leaving from Las Vegas this year. So we're very excited about that. We've got a huge following. Every time that we've gone to Vegas, we've had 60, 75, 100 bikes and supporters show up at the border and ride us in. So this year we decided to leave from Las Vegas. So we're going to have, we'll be on Facebook. So it's just Veterans Charity Ride on Facebook. And we'll start listing out all of our activities where the public can come and meet with us, ride with us, support us, be part of it. They can't go for the whole ride, but they can stop and they can meet up with us at many really cool places. So Las Vegas is where we start off at the War Memorial, and that'll all be on our Facebook and on our website. We then cruise up to Zion and Bryce and spend the night, and then we ride Highway 12, Escalante Staircase, one of the top.
Yeah.
So great.
It's one of the most beautiful roads in America. And then we spend a couple of hours on that 75-mile stretch. And then we roll into Moab, where the whole town comes out and greets us and meets us. And then we're going to give the guys Adventure Vet for 3 days in Moab. So we'll be doing river rafting, horseback riding, UTVs, cruising through the national parks. And that's where the guys really get to kind of like relax and get to know each other and realize that it's such a safe space and such a great environment. That's when the talks start happening. That's when the camaraderie and the partnership and the whole thing starts to come together as the beauty of Moab and Utah. We then leave after our third day, and we head to Eagle, Colorado, where once again the whole town receives us, and they put together a reception and a dinner and music and veterans and 10th Mountain Group, and all these guys from that region come down to Eagle, Colorado. Everybody is welcome. There's special rates for hotels if you want to hang out with us. And then we ride up to Steamboat Springs and into Fort Collins.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
And that so we'll be crossing the Continental Divide and going over that gorgeous Rockies and all that area. And then Fort Collins receives us. And then from Fort Collins, we shoot up through the Black Hills and we arrive at Sturgis, where we have this fantastic police escort down Main Street. The town recognizes veterans, and we partner up with Monster Energy Drink. Indian Motorcycle, of course, is there the whole way, but then also the Sturgis Motorcycle Museum has a special display of Veterans Charity Ride. We have rides, we have events, and we have activities throughout the week at Sturgis. And the Buffalo Chip has been with us from the very beginning. So we go to the Buffalo Chip and get special treatment for the guys there. And when I say special treatment, it's just, giving them access and space where they can sit and enjoy. And as you know, there's some anxiety and some issues with crowds and stuff like that. So they just help us out with that and give the guys this fantastic, unique experience, because Sturgis is on just about every biker's bucket list, I would think.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna make this invitation. Every year we do a bunch of stuff in Sturgis, and one thing that we do is we lead a ride out of town. We go out to a ranch that's 40 miles away from town, and we spend a day at the ranch playing bike games, and we race the cowboys on their horses. You guys are all more than welcome to come. There's a lunch for everybody that we provide. You're more than welcome to bring the guys and come on out with us. We'd love to have you. There's no charge,
that sounds
no charge
awesome.
for it, so we'd love you to come out.
All right. Yeah, I think the guys would love that.
Yeah, it's a really good thing.
Yeah. Can I say just one more thing about the men and women that are coming with us this year?
Absolutely.
I mean, every year we spend a lot of time. We get so many nominations and so many men and women that need and deserve this. Through our partners and sponsors, we've been able to expand and take more. Every year has been special. Last year with 2 double amputees, Josh and Neil, the modified bike, the sidecar, and just giving that experience back and giving a piece of life back to our men and women is a big part of what we do. This year, we got returning mentors. We got new men and women that are coming that have done miraculous service for our country. Not only just on the front lines in combat, which are most of our guys, but then also some of the men and women in these supporting roles that have done these humanitarian child and women programs throughout Iraq and Afghanistan. We've got some of those coming with us. We've got a paraplegic that Richie Two Chairs that came back after Veterans Charity Ride last year, bought an Indian bobber, put a sidecar on it, which we helped him with this and all these resources. And he's coming back on a modified bike with his wheelchair attached to the sidecar. We've got amputees that we're modifying bikes. They'll be riders. We got some that can't ride that'll be in sidecars. But we bend over backwards and do whatever we can to fully fulfill getting these guys back on bikes and actually piloting. And you're going to see some really cool videos this year of the guys, some great pictures. Please follow us along on Facebook or our website and just see the changes. See the guys come back alive. Can you imagine what could be cooler than doing that for another fellow human being? I get goosebumps just envisioning what we do every year.
That's so great. Well, I know that I for one, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in Sturgis this year. You know, it's always great to see you guys and what you guys do. You know, I was with you guys in the Why We Ride. You went last year, so that was really fun. But I know it'll be great to see you guys up there. So I'm sure we'll hook up. And I know you've got a lot of work to do. These guys I know Chris and Heather are trying to get out of the door to go to BMR. They've got their once a year event happening starting tomorrow?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh boy!
So,
After we finish the magazine.
Oh yeah, you got to finish a magazine too.
Well, I appreciate to the bottom of our hearts here at Veterans Charity Ride for giving us the opportunity to let people know what we do and to recognize our men and women that have served our country. And thank you for the opportunity to let us come and speak with you today. And whatever we can do for you, let us know. This is a partnership. We are, as you know, a hands-on organization that works hand in hand with all of our partners. And thank you. You guys are now part of the Veterans Charity Ride family, brothers, sisters.
Right on.
Awesome.
Well, it's been our pleasure. It really has. Like there's nothing that you could do for us. It's what your organization is doing, because this personally touches each one of us, and we're just pleased to pass the message along.
You bet.
Wow. Well, thanks so much, you guys, and ride safe. And I can't wait to see you in Sturgis this year.
All right, man.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Okay.
That's so great.
Dude, what an incredible thing they're doing. Like on so many levels.
Yeah. Just when you think you know it all, you're like, oh, and then he's like, oh, and then we've got a thing for families, and then we've got a nutrition. It's like
they've literally thought of everything.
Well, and that kind of that's experiential knowledge.
Oh,
you know what I mean? That's somebody you get that from being boots on the ground. You get that from firsthand. Like that's not those aren't things that get phoned in.
No, it's not, because you have to either have been there or know somebody that's looked at you and said, I can't unsee what I saw, and I can't share it with you because I don't want you to have that picture in your head. So they just hold on to it. And the fact that they know, they recognize it and they address it and they help you work through it. They've thought of everything. Man, just what a phenomenal organization.
Well, and they get it done. That's a
Right.
huge piece of it. It's not just like they're not just talking about it; they're actually out there doing it. On
Yeah.
the front lines with these vets, and having ridden with a bunch of them last year up to Monterey, it was an exceptional group. Like it is. It's something else.
And as
So,
he's talking, I'm thinking of companies that I know
Yeah.
that are veteran based who I want to reach out to and say, hey, you need to take your
Get
product
involved.
and you need
Yeah.
to donate it to these people.
sure.
It's incredible.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
switching gears a little bit, talking about another great organization, the Laconia Roadhouse. This next part of the show, we're going to be talking about a lot of the stuff that's going on at Laconia Roadhouse this year. Laconia Rally right around the corner. We're going to be on property throughout the week doing bike games. We got a show, but more importantly, Grease and Gears Garage is going to have the full complement all week long. They've signed us up to come up, and we're going to be doing everything from building a frame jig that's provided by Chop Source. Some of the guests we're going to have, Kyle Shorey is going to be on hand. Evan Favaro. You guys have been watching Evan on the New American Chopper series. Evan's going to be on hand doing some stuff. Nick Bollier is going to be with us for a segment. Rich Petoniak is going to be in the house. And Professor Will Ramsey will be on hand hardtailing my Michael Lichter frame.
Nice.
Which is awesome. Scully's going to be on hand doing an air ride. We had him with us in Ohio. He did an absolutely killer job. We asked him to do a repeat performance. Like I said, there's going to be a bike show. There's going to be bike games. We're looking to make a little bit of a difference in Laconia. We've been going. Heather's obviously that's her hometown, and it's a shame that Laconia Rally is the oldest rally. And every year we just keep talking about how we'd love to see a difference in the rally. We'd love to see, things come back and for it to get strong again. Even last year, Doug Assermley from Sick Boy, I know I have a hard time with his name. Don't make fun of me. But Doug was actually quoted in the newspaper of saying, if something is not done, Laconia is not going to make the 100th. And it really stirred up some feathers, but you got to give it to Doug because it's a thing that we're all thinking about. But who's really doing something? Doug is super active all the time in Laconia. There's a bunch of people trying to figure out where to go. So we're taking a more active role. The people from Roadhouse have helped us out with that. They're bringing us on property. They're giving us access to whatever we want to do. So we're going to throw everything that we can at it. If you have time, come up for a day or two, come up for the whole week, support what we're doing there. Custom Motorcycling is going to be live and in person.
So you just mentioned Doug. I want to talk a little bit about him. And I should have gotten you this graphic. I didn't. So every year for the past 5 years, Doug has done the May West Memorial Pet Run. If you know Doug from Sick Boys, and like many of us, he loves animal more than he loves most people. So every year he does a great ride where 100% of the proceeds go to the Humane Society. And that is on Monday, June 11th. It kicks off at 8 a.m. From rally headquarters, and it goes down to the track. And then I believe they wind up at the Broken Spoke Saloon for lunch. But if you have a chance to get out and support Doug and you love your pets, this is a good event to go to. We try and make it, and I love that it's early enough in the day that we can. So again, Monday, June 11th for the May West Memorial Pet Run with Sick Boy Motorcycles.
Look at that. Look how quick I brought that up.
Ooh, you're good.
I got
Nice.
this shit.
You got
this.
game.
Well, and you guys can't forget about the Harvard Children's Hospital that our friend Xavier is going to be.
Yeah, how
Oh,
about
yeah,
that?
tell us
haven't
about
talked
that.
up. Yeah, I need to figure out what day that is. Gosh, I want to say it's Thursday.
He's in town from the 13th to the 15th, so it's in there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So and
I bet if you go to the Roadhouse website, it may be on their events page. You think, Ken?
So I believe so. I just know that he's going to be there. He's going to be ride captain for that. He might even sit in that night with whatever said band is playing.
That'll be neat, huh?
Yeah, sit behind the drums and maybe play a song or two. So definitely look for him there. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be, I think, what Rich and his family are doing there, is they are basically with help of their partners, trying to really revive the rally, and that's why they're having you guys there. That's why they're bringing X in. That's why they're doing all these things that they know the rally itself should be doing. And they just kind of took it upon themselves and said, hey, you know what? We don't have control over everything else, but we've got control over what happens here. And, let's make this the best party that we can. And I think they're really doing that.
Yeah.
I think it's important to say too, I don't want to take anything away from the efforts that, everybody, Melissa Penland,
sure,
Charlie and Jen, everybody, especially like with last year they brought the Hill Climbs back to Gunstock was a huge step in the right direction. Anybody who was there can tell you like that was off the hook.
I have dibs on covering that this year.
Yeah, because I got to cover it last year, right? You kind of got screwed.
I had to go to a bike show.
Bike shows are fun.
Yeah,
bike shows are fun.
So again, I totally dropped the ball. I didn't give you the graphic. Iowa rally.
Okay.
We're doing a bike show at the Iowa rally. I'm killing you.
You're killing
me,
Smalls.
I know. I'll get it for you. I'll throw it up on Facebook. Iowa rally with J&P Cycles the weekend of June 22nd or 23rd and 24th. We have partnered up with them to bring Cycle Source Garage Built Bike Show to the Iowa rally this year for the first time ever. And again, Xavier Muriel is going to be on hand.
How about that?
Kind of doing the show, and I think I'm going to be there while the rest of the Source crew is doing Motoblot. We're double dipping.
It's gonna be a heavy weekend.
Dividing forces.
Heavy weekend.
Conquer. If anybody wants to volunteer their services in Anamosa, Iowa, or Chicago, please DM me.
At this point, we're looking for help.
Yeah.
Let's check this out. They got a video on the Iowa rally.
Hey, it's Patrick from J&P Cycles. We're here in Anamosa, Iowa for the Iowa Rally, which is basically the biggest biker bash in the Midwest. Let's go check it out. One of my favorite parts about the Iowa Rally is the Hot Bike Garage Built show here. These are real bikes built by real customers, J&P Cycles parts in their garage, ridden every day. No pro or sponsored builders, real bikes.
Okay, now I want a hamburger. I'm not gonna lie. Look, okay, laugh at the fat kid. That's all right.
We're here in the newly remodeled Anamosa, Iowa showroom, and possibly the most important place in this building, the tech desk, where there's literally hundreds of years of knowledge behind this counter. You can ask these guys anything and they'll know the answer. Derry, what size is the rear tire on my 03 Dyna?
MT9016.
What's the square root of 964?
31.0483.
How long should I cook a turducken?
Comes down to the pounds. It's 7 minutes per pound, and then you'll be good to go.
So you can ask these guys anything.
That was awesome.
Right?
I love Patrick. He's so great.
They always do a good job with their videos.
So-
man. This was one of
there
the
would be no
coolest
Iowa
things.
Rally, there would be no J&P Cycles, and with his recent passing, they dedicated the street out front to John and started his memorial ride. And we have this big banner here where people can write their feelings about John and what he did for the motorcycle industry.
Right on.
So, not gonna lie, I'm glad I get to go to this and you don't. Ha!
I might be coming too. I might be coming too. Don't get carried away.
Motoblot can't do without you, honey. Well,
Well, there, now you got the airspace and you blew it,
Yeah.
right?
you're supposed to call Jack.
Or we're calling Jack?
Call Jack.
So, getting back on track with the fact that we're going to be in Laconia doing all kind of cool shit. There's a little ad up on our Facebook for our ride-in bike show. We got the old-time bike games. And to give you a better idea of what this location has to offer and what it's all about, we're actually going to go to the host with the most. How long's Jack been on property?
Oh, Jack's been doing the Roadhouse for I think 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
3 years, I believe.
He is the master of ceremonies at, and I'm going to call it by its name that it will forever be, the Pound.
The Pound.
Um,
Right on.
So he's going to be down there working with us. It's going to be great to be on the same property with him.
Let's see if we can get him on the line.
He should be up. Diane woke him up for us.
Hello?
Jack, shit, you are on the air live with Chris, Ken, and Heather. Shop Talk coming at you, baby. What's up?
Good morning, sunshine.
I'm so sorry I
there.
made Diane go wake you up.
The funny thing is I was literally laying with my head next to the phone, 6 inches away. Once Diane's like, Heather's trying to reach you. I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong?
What's going on? What? Who's that?
going on? What's wrong?
I'm like, Diane, go wake him up.
I don't think she heard the phone ring either.
So, Jack, I just want to welcome you to Shop Talk. Say the F word real quick just to get it out of your system.
Freedom.
Say it.
Freedom. Oh, the other F word? The other F word? I hate fucking saying that word.
Jack and I are sometimes guests on a couple other shows, and both of us
can't say that word.
Well, both of us get in trouble for saying it. We get lectures, and I just wanted to give him the opportunity to freely put it out there.
It's terrifying, man. Like you try to be open and honest, but you can't speak freely because you have to stop and think like before you say anything. Am I going to let this fly out? Is it gonna?
And you know that's the funny thing is when you're allowed to say it, it's not that big of a deal. It rarely comes up, but when you're trying not to say it, it's like every third word.
When you're trying not to say it, you can't say your name without it.
Oh, fucking hey. See, there you go. You know what? I've always been, and this is my philosophy on the whole thing. I don't think that what people call bad words are bad words. You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, I grew up in New Jersey. You know, we'd go to church every Sunday. And it was either an old, not even old, but like a Polish priest or an Italian priest. And, you know, you'd walk out of mass and the priest would be standing there shaking hands. And my mom worked at the church, so we were always the last ones out of the church. And the priest would be like, how's your fucking weekend going, boys? They're all fucking giants, you know, like, and, you know, but to me, like, you know, calling someone fat, calling someone ugly, calling someone a retard. Like, to me, those are bad words.
Right.
You know, fuck, shit, damn. Like, where do these words have so much power? Why do people freak out so bad? You know?
I guess,
Wow, we're 30 seconds into this, and it's already on fire.
In the toilet.
you know, I can tell I think number one, it's where you were raised and how it's just, it's seriously like Chris will tell you, I'm from small town Massachusetts where actually he calls my family puritanical.
Actually, I call them Wonder Bread, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Well, you know, they're just wrapping up. It's like the Mueller probe. They're just wrapping up the witch hunt up there, you know? Almost done. Almost got the last of the witches. Almost got the last of the witches wrapped up from the 1500s, you know? We're almost done.
Well, Ken, you're from are you from Connecticut?
Hey, come on. I
I thought
mean,
Ken was from Canada.
yeah,
Is that not
I
true?
might have been
had to
referred
think
to
about
as a
this.
wasp at times. No, I was born there, but I moved a whole bunch of different
Oh,
places.
okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
Lived in New York
born in
before I-
Connecticut or born in Canada?
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Oh,
Yeah.
same thing.
See, I do
Same
pay
thing.
attention sometimes.
Oh,
Not the
Jesus.
same thing.
We're
Jack.
getting
No.
mail.
Anyway, so we're super excited. We get to work on the same property in Laconia this year.
It's been too long.
It's been far
right?
too long.
I just now, while waiting for you guys, because I live in tech hell. If there's a piece of technology that I own or it's broken, it's busted, I forgot the passwords, I don't know how to use it, you know, and I just happened to be scrolling on my phone. I saw what the Roadhouse posted up with the list of events they got going on, the bands, and I see we're doing a ride for the Children's Hospital of Dartmouth, and X is leading the ride, and that's fantastic.
Right.
Yeah, big Will Ramsey's coming and
yeah.
Xavier's coming, and we're gonna have a bunch of cool people on hand
whole
this year.
family.
Super excited.
Yeah, the property's amazing too. You guys have come to visit us there, and Heather, you're from up there. You know
Yes.
that property, and
Yep.
it's just grown to the point going up the hill where you can almost not fit another thing in there, you know, and that's amazing because we had like basically the biggest parking lot in Laconia, and what used to be the Lobster Pound, which has been the Roadhouse for I don't know how many years now, just at the bottom of the hill, and it's grown and grown and grown, and now with they got the bar up on top of the hill under the tent with mud wrestling and all that silly crap, you know, and that just it's amazing. It's just amazing. I'm just warn you, bring your walking shoes because that hill is a stone bitch.
Will they let me ride my new mini bike?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I'm good.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Somehow we still can't get over calling it the Pound. Like
it will forever be the Pound.
We always call it the Pound.
Well, when you're from there, actually, even Evan Favaro, who's a young buck, he called it the Pound when he called me today. Yeah. I was so proud.
You know, the other side of the coin too is, you know, I mean, that's how iconic it was. I remember the years down at the Spoke, and we based everything on our, you know, how did we do against Lobster Pound?
Yeah.
How did we do?
Yeah, those are really.
What was it? Bud Light. We for the first time ever, we had sold more Bud Light than anybody else, and we were like through the roof because we were competing with the Lobster Pound.
Yeah, those are really the only two games in town is the Spoke and the Pound. So I have to apologize to Rich because the last time we talked, the first week we talked about being there, he tuned into the show just as I called it the Pound, and I talked to him the next day, and I said, "I'm sorry, Rich.
Laconia Roadhouse.
It is and I said, I know. I said, but forever. I said, you know just as well as I do, it will forever be the Pound. I said,
oh sure.
You know, I have made a promise to myself though. I'm only allowed to eat at Pharaoh's once that week because it's so good, and I do not want to get.
I go from there directly to Johnstown, and like I won't even eat for like the first 2 days in Johnstown because I am still panicking over the weight that I've gained from the lasagna that I've eaten every single day.
Well, Pharaoh's, for those of you that don't know, Pharaoh's Italian Grill is actually the brick and mortar restaurant that's the home base for the Laconia Roadhouse and Smoke and Tire Saloon. And it is phenomenal. Yeah. Like the food is just outstanding. And it's great because they still do full service, full menu restaurant during the rally, which is so unheard of. Yep. But man, it's awesome.
And they don't add 60% to the price.
No, they keep everything the same. So
Yep.
So yeah.
The brothers are unbelievable. You know, the brothers really when you know, I was nervous going up there, you know, coming from the history of the Spoke and you know, love them or hate them. It's some really big shoes to fill up there with their MC. You know what I mean? Yeah. He was legendary, to say the least. You know, everybody knew him, and I was nervous as hell. I mean, truly nervous as hell. You guys know me. I panic every time I do something new. And the brothers welcomed me, treated me like we've been friends for 20 years. You know, and now you know I literally could walk away saying, you know, my dear friends, the Farr brothers. You know, and they always respectful to everybody. It's going to be a blast, man. They treat everybody like they've been coming there for 30 years, you know?
Well, and we're super grateful too, because, you know, we've been working really, really hard at bringing the Grease and Gears Garage around. It's been an absolute labor of love. You know, IMS stepped up really big this year, then Progressive backed that up by bringing us around to a bunch of stuff through the summer. But, you know, it's important for people to know that Laconia Roadhouse themselves signed up to bring this program in, you know, and what that means is these companies and these event venues are making a personal investment in the custom motorcycle world. You know what I mean? In a time when, you know, everybody's talking about the numbers being down, we always forecast that, you know, the resurgence of this whole market is going to come out of that passion that happens between two guys over a beer in a garage. You know, and what these companies are doing is allowing us to recreate that in live format out at the event venues. You know what I mean? And we're trying to pass along knowledge and enthusiasm and show people like, hey, look, you can figure this out. You can get involved. You can buy a couple tools. You can start doing some of this. You can learn your way through it. You know?
Well, you know, and I think the planet, much like our lives, everything is cyclical. You know what I mean? And Harley Davidson has been through bad times before, and America has been through bad times before. And now you see, I just said to Diane last night. I said, my God, the price of used bikes. I just saw a Softail last night, a Softail for $2,995. You know, but what this does is this now takes people who can't even afford to buy a new Sportster, can now pick up a bike, take it into the garage, get with somebody who knows something, or start figuring it out. Like, my generation, and I guess I'm an old man now, but it was the generation before. They didn't have YouTube videos. They didn't have a laptop next, sitting on the workbench where they could watch a video and teach them how to do it. But the beauty is now you got a better chance because of things like Greasing Gears, where you could sit and watch and ask questions and go back to those videos. Those videos archived from the first time we ever did this in Sturgis, And I'm like Will. I mean, forget about what I've learned from Will.
Professor Ramsey.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that we have some audience participation like we've had at the past two events. It was so great in Leesburg and Ohio to have people actually come up on stage and want to truly, truly learn.
Yeah, we had
from them, and
we had Austin
I'm hoping we get
Andrella.
that.
Austin Andrella in Ohio brought two guys out of the crowd that they couldn't get any closer to the stage until we just said, "Hey, look, you want to see more of what's going on? Come on up here." And Austin actually took about 45 minutes with those guys and, put helmets on them. We put gloves on them. And right there, he was teaching them TIG welding right on stage in front of everyone. And that's the best. That's as good as it gets.
And then I'm not going to lie. I think it's really cool that for Grease and Gears Garage, because we are really, truly trying to share as much as we can about motorcycling, to be able to be part of the country's oldest motorcycle rally. I mean, this is their 95th year. And to be able to be there and, maybe be a little part of history, that's incredible.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. I was also thinking too, like I said, this will be my third season with these guys, and I have never been treated kinder or welcomed better to any venue that I've ever worked at in my life. And I mean by the guests, the customers, and the owners of the property. And being the old Lobster Pound and the Roadhouse, I mean, when you're downtown and you're by that traffic circle and the old drive-in, I mean, you don't have to go anyplace else. These guys could have sat on their laurels. They could have just taken their rake and just raked in whatever money they were making and done nothing to change their event or anything that they've ever done in the past. And they could have still had that tent packed every day for the wet t-shirt contest and packed every night, And instead, they continued to invest in us, in the event, in the property, and in the people who visit, And they opened up the Smoke and Tire Saloon up the hill. And then they made that completely free, where you can come in and out, in and out, in and out all day long. And the vendors, you can't fit another vendor. And they could have just stepped back and said, why should we care? Let's just open the doors, let's rake in the money, let's close up and go back to having a restaurant. But they didn't. And they're trying to make it a better event for everybody that comes. So it's not the same time, and it's not the same that you came last year or 10 years ago or 15 years ago. And I got to give them mad props for that, because it's really easy to just sit back and ride the wave and hope that the rain isn't too bad and hope that you make some money. But instead, when you live in a place that, what we call Rainconia, you got to worry about any money that you spend, because God forbid you hit 5 or 6 days of rain, you lost your ass, but they're still putting effort into it. And then Andy from Hot Leathers, my God, Andy, I mean, he's just a beautiful human being, and he's there, 16 hours a day down there. And it's just the best people on that property. I'm really proud to be a part of it. And now having Greasing Gears and the rides going out of there, and we're going to have a blast, man. That's the best part about it, is you can come down the hill under the big tent and listen to music. Or you go up the hill under the big tent and listen to music. What I mean? And it's not there now. I don't know. I haven't talked to them in a couple weeks because I've just been crazy. Is there a wall of death on the property this year, or are we swapping that out for our stage?
No, that's not. They're not there this year. But the one thing that I will say is that all the people who've said, "Oh, I've been to Laconia, I'm not going back," or whatever it is, whatever the reason is, or I've never been to Laconia because X, Y, and Z, this is the year to go. Like, that is the reality. I don't know how many people I know that I've, asked, "Hey, have you ever been to Laconia?" And they're like, "No, because blah, blah, blah." And they're on the East Coast. It is an iconic rally. There is amazing riding. And now with Grease and Gears being there and the ride and Jack and everything that's going on at the Roadhouse, this is your opportunity to go and